Some absolutely disgusting allegations have come out about Katy Perry. Ruby Rose has now stepped forward, accusing Katy Perry of SAing her at a nightclub in Melbourne, Australia, 20 years ago. Now, when I first saw this story, I was confused for multiple reasons. For one, it made me feel really old. Because I was sitting here thinking like, wait, Katy Perry has been famous for 20 years? Has Katy Perry really been famous for 20 years? Oh, how time flies. Now, if you do the math, that would mean that Katy Perry must have done this to Ruby Rose around 2006. Now, I'm not a Katy Perry expert. I don't really follow most of these celebrities' lives and careers that closely. But I thought that around that time, Katy Perry was like still broke couch surfing. I didn't realize that she was already famous then and was already hanging out at nightclubs in Australia and stuff. Now I know that around 2009, 2010, 11-ish, around the time that I was graduating from high school, Katy Perry was like on top of the world. Everyone was listening to her music. You could not escape it, even if you wanted to. And everyone loved Katy Perry around that time. And look, we're going to get right into the allegations. Don't worry, I'm not going to waste any of your time here. But I do have a question. Because like I just said, around 2009, 2010-ish, everyone loved Katy Perry. But I've noticed that over recent years, Katy Perry has a lot of haters. There's a lot of people who hate Katy Perry. She gets a lot of hate online. And I don't really know why. I'm not here to defend her. I just don't know where the hate comes from. What did she do? What caused people to flip? Do people just not like her music anymore? What is it? Let me know down in the comments below if you have an answer, because I really just don't know why. I haven't followed the situation that closely. Now, let's go ahead and get right into these allegations, though, because Ruby Rose came out swinging. She says, Katy Perry SA'd me at a Spice Market nightclub in Melbourne. Who gives a shit what she thinks? Now, someone replies saying, she kissed a girl and you didn't like it? And then Ruby Rose says, she didn't kiss me. She saw me resting on my best friend's lap to avoid her. And she bent down. She pulled her underwear to the side and rubbed her disgusting vagina on my face until my eyes snapped open and I projectile vomited all over her. Oh my God. I don't even know what to say. This is the same reaction that I had when I first saw this news, and I thought that I would have a different reaction, reading it for a second time here on video, but I'm at a loss for words. It's like, what do you say to that? Someone just you're just like, look, everyone was just chilling, okay? No one asked Ruby Rose anything. Everyone was chilling, and out of nowhere, she just comes out like, Katy Perry SA'd me. Who cares what she thinks? She rubbed her disgusting vagina on my face and I projectile vomited all over her. Just gross. It's disgusting. It's kind of extreme, if you ask me. But she goes further. She says, I was only in my early 20s. I'm now 40. It has taken almost 2 decades to say this publicly. Though I am so grateful to have made it long enough to find my voice, it just shows how much of an impact trauma and SA takes. Thank you for seeing me. And then someone says, you can't just drop that bomb and then yeet out of here. And then Ruby Rose says, after I threw up on her, I told the story publicly, but changed it to be a funny little drunk story because I didn't know how else to handle it. Later, she agreed to help get my US visa, so I kept it a secret. But I did tell y'all she wasn't a good person. Instead, I got attacked by everyone. So, a lot of people have been questioning. Obviously, people are going to question, why now? Why did it take you 20 years to come out with this? Some people have accused her of just seeking attention online, and she then claimed that she went to the police station and made a report. I don't know how true that is, but that is what she claims. Now, like I said earlier on in the video, I'm not here to defend Katy Perry. But this story, it sounds extreme. And it's something that supposedly happened 20 years ago. And I'm no Katy Perry expert. I could be wrong, but like I was saying earlier, I'm still wondering, like, was Katy Perry even famous 20 years ago? How did this happen 20 years ago? I guess maybe Katy's backstory is fake. Maybe, I don't know, or maybe my timelines are off because, like I said, I'm no expert here on what Katy Perry was doing in 2006 and 2006. So, who knows? Maybe this is true. But after seeing these allegations, I wasn't too familiar with who Ruby Rose really is. I know who she is, I know of her, but I don't know much about her. But once I started looking into her, I saw that she has a history of all types of accusations. And even when it comes to Katy Perry, for years, she says that she's been trying to tell people that Katy Perry is a bad person. But that's not true. From everything I've seen, she's been singing Katy's praises for years. And if this so-called happened 20 years ago and she was so traumatized, it makes me question why she would be posting photos like this. Like sexually suggestive photos with pictures of Katy Perry. And she's even had social media posts sexualizing Katy Perry over the years. So it just really makes me wonder what's going on here. Like right here, watching Katy Perry perform tonight and can't take my eyes off her cleavage. Let's meet after the show. Mind you, this is all coming years after she was supposedly essayed and supposedly threw up all over Katy Perry. Now, she did previously tell a story about how one night there was an unfortunate event where she winded up throwing up on Katy Perry's boots. And people are thinking that that was the original story that she was telling people. But there's a lot of changes in that story. All the way down to the location of where all of this stuff supposedly happened at. Because you see, her allegations are that Katy Perry essayed her at a Spice Market nightclub in Melbourne. But one of the stories that she told previous to this, a while back, she says right here, Ruby has been very vocal about her choice to get sober after a particularly unfortunate drinking session that ended in her throwing up on Katy Perry's shoes just a few hours before the incident in New Orleans. Okay? So people are thinking that the original story that she threw out there was that she had to go to rehab. She wanted to sober up because she winded up throwing up all over Katy Perry. And now she has this story about how she projectile vomited all over Katy Perry's vagina after she rubbed it all over her face. Now, if you don't know, Ruby Rose, I guess, is a lesbian, which, hey, that's fine. Everyone's a lesbian until they get a vagina in their face, though, these days. Everyone likes to play the role of lesbian, especially in Hollywood, until Katy Perry slides her panties to the side and drops that coochie on your face. Then you find out, hey, maybe I'm not a lesbian after all. Now, I'm just joking there. I'm just joking. Don't get your panties up in a bunch, no pun intended. But Ruby Rose also has had exes come out saying that, hey, she's crazy, she harasses me. Right here, Ruby Rose responds after ex-girlfriend Jessica Origlioso, I don't know how to say that last name, accuses her of continued harassment. So if you look into Ruby Rose, all around the board, there's people accusing her of harassment. There's exes saying that she's problematic and crazy. And she's even been kicked off of TV shows. And she's always coming out with allegations against people. In fact, Warner Brothers, had to call her out because she tried to call out Warner Bros. For what was going on I believe she was on the, Batwoman. She was doing like a Batwoman TV show. And she tried to cancel some of the people at Warner Bros. But it didn't work. It backfired on her because everyone came together and was like, no one else was problematic. These issues aren't anyone else's fault. Ruby Rose was the problem. Right here. Warner Bros. Television Group has issued an official statement in response to Rose's allegations, saying despite the revisionist history that Ruby Rose is now sharing online aimed at the producers, the cast, and the crew, the network, and the studio, the truth is that Warner Brothers Television had decided not to exercise its option to engage Ruby for season 2 of Batwoman based on multiple complaints about workplace behavior that were extensively reviewed and handled privately out of respect for all concerned. So they straight up kicked her off of the Batwoman TV show. And then Ruby Rose came out with all of these allegations against people who were working on the show, and everyone on the show was like, no, Ruby's the problem. So this is a reoccurring theme in Ruby's life. Does that mean that her allegations against Katy Perry aren't true? Not necessarily. All I'm saying is this woman has a history of stuff like this. She love bombs people. She sings their praises. And then eventually she turns on them and she craps all over them. Is it for attention? Is it because she didn't get her way with something? I don't know. But she also tried to do something like this to Nicki Minaj. Not with any SA allegations. But at one point she was singing Nicki Minaj's praises. Saying that she went on tour with Nicki. And that Nicki was basically a great person. Fun to be around. All of that good stuff. And then she turned around and basically made all of these allegations towards Nicki and the tour that she was on. Like here it is right here. I toured with Nicki. She was very nice, very funny, and very talented. And then out of nowhere, later on, I toured with Nicki Minaj. Her ego is so outsized. She had to fire someone after every show. Publicly, because she is 3-foot MAGA. On night 1, she fired the security for not seamlessly carrying her from the stage because she went to jump off several bars early. The third night was best. We were all going to get fired because it was her birthday and, well, someone on her team had organized a bunch of her friends and celebrities to do a happy birthday montage video. So kind. Only problem was, of the dozen or so video messages that came in, not one had her age right, and now her real age had been leaked. I could go on, but I'm waiting for her next outburst. So, this woman sung Nicki Minaj's praises, said she went on tour with her, Nicki was talented, fun, she was great. And then Nicki Minaj spoke out and said that she supported Trump. And out of nowhere, after years of singing Nicki's praises and talking about how great this tour was when she was with Nicki, out of nowhere, oh my God, Nicki's the worst. And she comes forward with all of these stories about Nicki Minaj, not because Nicki did anything to her personally, just because Nicki Minaj came out and was like, hey, I support MAGA, I support Trump, right? And then all of a sudden, Ruby Rose, after years of never saying anything bad about Nicki, only saying good things, all of a sudden, Nicki's a bad person, she's a monster, she hated being on tour with her, all of that stuff. So, you see the type of person Ruby Rose is. Once again, does that mean that she's lying about what happened with Katy Perry? Not necessarily. But you're already coming out 20 years late. And I understand you don't have to have those conversations with me about trauma and how sometimes it takes people a long time to come out with stuff. I already get it. We've already had all of those kind of conversations on this channel. But you add this happened 20 years ago with the fact that this is a person with a history of making allegations towards people when she gets upset. Okay? She has a history of this. They've even described her as someone who likes to present revisionist history. She likes to come out with a story that is not how things actually happened, her telling of things. And as we can see, she can turn on a dime. She can go from loving someone to, oh my God, they're the worst person ever, just because, they maybe voted this way, or they say they support Trump, or they support that. So Ruby Rose has an extremely problematic past, an extremely problematic history, riddled with allegations against her, and her making wild allegations against other people. So right now, like I said earlier, I'm not here to defend Katy Perry, but I'm not so sure that this is true. And I know it's easy to hop on the hate train. It's easy to hop on the bandwagon. But as of right now, I don't think I believe Ruby Rose. I don't think I do. And like I said, it's because of that history. That history there of making these wild accusations. In fact, here's another random accusation that she threw out there at one point. She was telling people that she thought someone was trying to turn her into a protein shake and throw her in a blender. Many years ago, I was invited to have dinner at someone's house. I went. It was interesting. When I asked to leave, they refused to let me go. I called my friends begging them to drive to Malibu and help me. It was pretty shocking. I was genuinely scared. She intended to put me in the blender and to make me protein powder. Now I gotta find out she is full MAGA and spitting racist white lady thoughts on slavery. I suspected murderer. I should have known. MAGA. So I don't know if she's talking about Nicki Minaj there or she's throwing out accusations against other people. But once again, she's finding out, oh wait, you're MAGA, or oh wait, maybe you're sympathetic towards Republican right-wing talking points. Well, now I got these accusations against you. I think you're trying to blend me. I thought you tried to kill me back in the day. It's just wild, kind of psychotic stuff, like if you ask me. And I've seen this kind of behavior before, and you got to know how to spot it out. I think they're trying to start another wave of Me Too right now. That's what it kind of looks like. And as I was saying earlier, I don't know what it is that happened over recent years that turned the internet and turned a lot of people against Katy Perry. But I think because a lot of people already kind of don't like Katy Perry, they're hopping all over this without really thinking it through. My thing is, look, even if you don't like Katy Perry, you can hate her as much as you want. It doesn't mean that you should automatically believe any accusations you see, made against her. And as of right now, these accusations, they do not seem true to me. But I could be wrong. And I'm okay with being wrong. I have no skin in the game here. I'm not here on anyone's side. I'm just here looking for the truth. And I feel like, what Ruby Rose is saying is not necessarily the truth as of right now. But you guys are always free to feel differently. Let me know how you feel about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.